I found a letter my mom hid for 18 years. It changed everything. I was cleaning out my childhood bedroom because my dad had finally decided to sell the house. My mom had passed away 18 years earlier, when I was only 6. Most of my memories of her were blurry: a soft laugh, the smell of vanilla perfume, and the way she'd sing while making breakfast. Everything else I knew about her came from old photographs and stories my dad told me. The attic was packed with dusty boxes that hadn't been opened in years. Most contained holiday decorations or old clothes, but one small wooden jewelry box caught my attention. It was locked. After a few minutes of searching, I found a tiny brass key taped underneath the drawer of Mom's old dressing table. Inside the jewelry box was a single envelope. Across the front, written in my mother's unmistakably neat handwriting, were the words, "For Ethan. Please don't open until his 24th birthday." I froze. I had turned 24 3 weeks earlier. Dad had never mentioned this. My hands were shaking as I opened the envelope. Inside was a 6-page letter. "My sweet Ethan, if you're reading this, it means I wasn't lucky enough to watch you grow up." By the second sentence, tears were already running down my face. She wrote about everything she hoped I'd experience: my first day of secondary school, learning to drive, graduating, falling in love. She apologized for leaving me so soon. Then the letter took a strange turn. "There is something I've never been able to tell you because I wanted you to have a normal childhood." I stopped breathing. "The man raising you is the best father you could ever ask for, but he isn't your biological father." I read the sentence 3 times. It didn't make sense. Dad had raised me alone since Mom died. He'd worked 2 jobs, never missed a football match, never forgot my birthday. He was my dad. The letter continued, "Your biological father never knew about you. We were together briefly before I met your dad. When I discovered I was pregnant, he had already moved overseas. Your dad knew everything before we married, and he chose you before you were even born." I couldn't move. For 18 years, I believed one story. Now, in less than 5 minutes, everything had changed. At the very end of the letter was a folded piece of paper. It contained a name, an address, and one sentence: "Whether you meet him or not is entirely your choice. Just remember, family is built by love, not by blood." That evening I confronted my dad. He didn't deny any of it. Instead, he quietly walked into the kitchen and returned with an old photo album. "I always knew this day might come," he said. Inside were dozens of photographs. Some showed Mom before they married. Some showed a younger man I'd never seen before. Dad explained everything exactly as Mom had written. When Mom became pregnant, she was terrified. The biological father had accepted a job in another country before either of them realized she was expecting. Months later, Mom met Dad. She told him everything on their 3rd date. Instead of walking away, he stayed. He attended every doctor's appointment. He signed my birth certificate. He was there the moment I was born. "I never thought of you as someone else's son," he told me. "You've always been mine." I started crying. So did he. For weeks, I couldn't stop thinking about the letter. Eventually, curiosity won. I searched the address. The house had been sold years ago. After a lot of online searching, I finally found someone with the same unusual surname living 2 counties away. I sent a message. Then I waited. 3 weeks later, I received a reply. "I think I know why you're contacting me." My heart nearly exploded. We agreed to meet at a quiet cafe halfway between our towns. He looked older than I expected. Gray hair, kind eyes, nervous smile. The first thing he said was, "I'm so sorry." He explained that he had never known Mom was pregnant. He had moved abroad for work, lost contact with almost everyone from his hometown, and eventually started a family years later. When I showed him Mom's letter, he cried. Real tears, not dramatic movie tears. The kind that come from years of wondering about things you never knew existed. He told me he had 2 daughters, which meant I had 2 half-sisters. Over the following months, I slowly got to know them. No one tried to replace anyone. There were no impossible expectations. I simply gained more people who cared about me, but nothing changed how I felt about Dad. If anything, I loved him more, because I finally understood the choice he'd made. Every scraped knee, every school concert, every late-night conversation, every sacrifice. He had chosen all of it, not because he had to, because he wanted to. A year later, on Mom's birthday, both sides of my family met for the first time. It was awkward. Then someone made a terrible joke. Everyone laughed. By the end of the afternoon, we were sharing old photographs and stories about Mom that I'd never heard before. As we were leaving, Dad quietly placed a hand on my shoulder. "You found what she wanted you to find." I nodded. "I thought the letter changed everything," I said. "It did. It didn't change who my father is." He smiled. "No," he replied. "It only proved it." And for the first time since opening that envelope, I finally understood what Mom had meant. Family isn't always the people who give you life. Sometimes, they're the people who spend their whole lives choosing yours.